Hey kids, I was at the pet store and I found these cats while I was looking for purely cards, and they're just spectacular. So naturally I had to build a deck around God's Sweetest soldiers. Also, it is a super heavy samurai variant. I can quit whenever I want to. You're not my real mom. You can't tell me what to do. This first game is up against pure Naturia. They're on whack shit like Titanicider and Cliff and more. On Lost Wind 2. On multiple copies of Fruit Fly. Hell yeah, brother. Wait, was that Trap Trip Garden? For what reason? Someone Trap Tricks. Someone Trap. Okay, so it's just battle protection. Okay. Anyway, we're going first. We're going to scale Wakaushi. Wakaushi's going to scale Benkei. We're going to special summon Wakaushi. We're going to activate Benkei. Benkei is going to grab us yet another copy of Soul Piercer. We're going to pitch the Bike for Stealthy. We're going to special Stealthy and then activate Soul Piercer to equip to the Stealthy. That's going to allow us to link off into Scarecrow and trigger the Soul Piercer for Scales, which we will now pitch for Scarecrow to summon itself back, which summons the Soul Piercer. Then we're going to summon Omega, trigger in sequence all of our effects. We're going to search for Wakaushi and then rip a card out of the hand. We're going to take Vayne. Then we're going to go ahead and Soul Peacemaker for Wagon. Wagon's going to flip itself to attack mode to search Soul Guide Booster. Soul Guide Booster is going to equip to Wagon and then summon itself. We're going to overlay Scales and Wagon for Gear Gigant X. Gear Gigant grabs Cyberstein, and it's at this point where most, if not all, of my opponents concede. It's a miracle I was able to find more than one replay where people stuck around. For another example of people bailing early, here we are against Blind Second Mikonka. Looks like they're using the new stuff, and most of it's just cards that kill people and cards that kill people faster. I don't know. Anyway, we're going to be first. We've opened Soul Piercer. We're gonna link off Soul Piercer for Scarecrow. It's gonna get us to Bike. Bike gets us to Wakaushi. Wakaushi is gonna be scaled. Here we're going to activate the Wakaushi. Wakaushi is going to set Benkei and then summon itself. Trigger the Benkei. Benkei grabs us a copy of Soul Guide Booster. We'll pitch Nimble Angler for Soul Piercer. That's going to trigger both Angler to summon 2 level 2 Beavers. That's going to allow us to make Omega, and we're going to trigger in sequence all of our effects. We're going to hit the Fire Dance out of the hand and search Soul Peacemaker. We're going to Soul Peacemaker away the Scarecrow for a copy of Scales, which is going to trigger the Scales for a copy of Soul Piercer. Now we're going to go ahead and Soul Guide Booster these Scales, which is going to allow us to special summon Soul Guide Booster. We're going to overlay for Gear Gigant X. Gear Gigant X is going to search Cyberstein. Cyberstein is going to be Pendulum summoned here. We're going to pay 5,000 for Exterio, then make Sprint. Sprint here is going to be sending Dry Brigade Kit just because Kit's going to send Nerval. Nerval is going to grab us Karas. Here we're going to overlay for Gigantic Sprite. Activate Gigantic Sprite. That's going to allow us to send God's Sweetest Soldier and then mill a Karas. Then we're going to make IP before searching Spy and then making Farrajeet. Farrajeet's going to special summon Karas, and now we are locked into only using tri-types as material. We're going to link off Bearbrum and Farrajeet for early, search for Revolt, and pass. Our opponent is going to concede, because of course they will. Here we'll be going up against Penguins. I am going first again, so we're going to normal summon Soul Piercer, link off into Scarecrow. A bit of a misplay here. I probably should have equipped another Soul Piercer. Anyways, we're going to scale Waka scale Benkei, summon itself. Benkei here is going to be grabbing Soul Peacemaker. We're going to Scarecrow, equip with Soul Piercer. We're going to pitch Wagon for Soul Piercer, then Synchro for Omega, trigger and sequence our effects, and rip Penguin Soldier out of our hand, or out of our opponent's hand. Then we're going to go Bike for Soul Guide Booster, equip Scarecrow with Soul Peacemaker. That lets us make Scales. Scales is going to activate in sequence to Reborn Soul Piercer, which is also going to search us a copy of Stealthy. We're going to activate Soul Guide Booster, equipping to Soul Piercer, then special summon that. We're going to make Gear Gigant X. Gear Gigant X is going to grab us Cyberstein, which we will now Pendulum summon. We're going to activate Stein. Stein's going to pay 5,000 for Exterio. Now we'll link off for Sprint. Sprint is going to send Angler. Angler is going to summon 2 Beavers from the deck. We're going to overlay Sprint and a Beaver for Gigantic, which summons Kittytail. Kittytail is going to target the Beaver to mill Kit, which is going to activate to mill Nerval, which is going to activate to add Karas. Here we're going to link off into IP using our non-tri-type materials and searching a Wakaushi. Then we're going to make Farrajeet, special summoning Karas. Karas is going to banish 2 for Bearbrum, and then we'll link off for early, triggering in sequence Farrajeet to draw and put 1 back, and then a copy of Bearbrum to search for Roar since we already have Revolt. They're going to activate Fury of Kairishan, will mill, and negate. Then they're going to set and activate Penguin Squire. Attempt to flip it. We're going to IP, then chain early to negate Squire. That's going to allow us to make a 3 material Appaloosa. They'll set 2 and pass. We're going to revolt in end phase, summon back Kittytail, Kit, Nerval, and Ferrijit, then link summoning Shreg in sequence. We're going to trigger all of our effects. We will be banishing the Ice Knight, searching Kit, drawing and then putting back Kit, and then milling in Nerval. We will be getting our Omega back, so we're going to go ahead and go to the battle phase. We're going to set Squire to 0 and get in for some damage. They're going to attempt the Ice Barrier. We'll Exterio, removing Roar from our spell and from our graveyard to turn our Super Heavies back on. Then we'll get in for a lot over lethal. And now for our last game, we'll be going up against Gishki, and our opponent has drawn a card that gives Super Heavy decks a lot of pause, but we should be able to play through it. We are going to activate Bike. Bike is going to get us to Soul Piercer, and at this point our opponent will draw. We're going to scale Waka. Waka is going to scale Benkei and then summon itself. Here we're going to normal summon Cyberstein. Cyberstein's going to pay 5,000 for Exterio. Then we're going to link off for Sprint. Sprint is going to be sending a copy of Angler. Angler is going to be specialing 2 Beavers from deck. We're going to overlay for Gigantic. Gigantic is going to detach the Beaver for Kittytail. Kittytail is going to do the best it can by sending Kit. Kit's going to send Nerval. We can't add though. But we already have the target for Ferrijit. We're going to Ferrijit out Karos. Karos is going to go for double Dragon Lords. And they're going to start with an Aquamirror. Will negate. Then they'll fire off another one, and not once per turn, will negate. Then they're going to fire off Duster, will negate, clearing our spell in the grave. Then they'll normal summon Gishki Beast and go to battle phase. In the battle phase, I'll go ahead and pitch this Ferrijit to bounce it, which allows us to redraw. And they will pass with a set Aquamirror. I'm going to Karos for 2 to summon Bearbrum, switch all of our guys to attack mode, and this is just a little bit over lethal. This deck is the best thing ever, and I love it, and Kittytail is my favorite little group of critters. I don't have to say anymore.